So today I want to welcome Annette White to the podcast. And as we've discussed, the podcast is about bringing other healthcare, not really healthcare, but just health businesses together that we have locally, because we all recognize in the health world that health is a jigsaw puzzle. So there's lots of different moving pieces, parts, and to that puzzle. And so that was my journey to start the podcast. And your business is Bungee Fitness Factory.
Yes.
So why don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
Okay. I've been on a long journey. Started at 32 after my mother had a almost massive heart attack. Scared me to death, and she weighed 285 pounds, and I went home, and the scale wouldn't weigh me because it wouldn't go over 300. So then I started on my health journey. That was over 20 years ago, and then in the process of that, I've been teaching as a fitness instructor for 20 years, and it's a passion. You do not get rich off that. It's pure OD passion because in my family, heart attacks are prevalent. Grandparents, mom and dad, so I thought I better take control now.
So you took a bad situation and said, listen, I'm going to be proactive, and now you've turned it into...
Yes, and I've been teaching for other gyms for years and years and years, and I worked at a desk for years and years and years, and my posture was horrible. I had the little hump, the hump that you see.
Yes.
And with people who do this, and I would run home, change clothes, and go teach classes, kickboxing and Zumba, and now Bungee Fitness. I decided that I was tired of sitting at a desk 3 years ago, going on 3, and I took a part of my retirement out, and I opened up a business. So
we call that a leap of faith.
But I had a friend, how it got started. It's all her, and I have to pull her in because she did give me some money to go down on this. Thank goodness for her. She sent me a video. And she said, I think we need to make this bungee thing happen. And I said, girl, I don't have no money. She was like, I'm going to help you. And so that's how it got started. And then, when you start opening your own business, you need more and more and more. So I took part of my retirement out, and that's how it started.
So how did you come across, or how did you get interested in the bungee fitness? Because I think that's quite unique.
I studied it because I was in my 50s, and it's easy on your joints. Now, mind you, people do not understand. It's easy on your joints. It's not an easy physical class. It's a physical class. You're going to get out of breath, you're going to build muscle, and you're going to get a good workout. It just is not going to affect your joints.
Gotcha. So I guess is it you have a harness, or it takes away some of the gravity, right? Because Because when I think of bungee, I'm thinking bungee jumping off of bridges.
Some people are really scared about that. So we have a harness that you put on, and then we ask you your weight. And we're kind of rude about that. What's your weight?
That's kind of important.
And, women, you don't ask that. And then according to your weight, it's very mathematical. We put your bungees on.
Gotcha.
And then we have to see and then make sure that you are fitted correctly. And then we take you step by step with the bungee, because just like with any kind of fitness equipment, you have to learn how to use it.
100%.
Yes. And after 3 years, I'm finding great results. Fantastic results with it.
Well, I know I have quite a few patients actually that go there, and that's kind of how I got interested in going, man, we need to get her on here.
Well, you did save my husband's back. So when anybody comes to me and they say, I have a back issue, I said, let me show you a miracle worker.
Well, I do appreciate
Send him over there. That's why.
I do appreciate that a lot. That was definitely that's a whole different story for a whole other time,
yes,
man.
We won't go there. Let's not.
That's just crazy story. But so what I like about it is because I know there's really no age limit on bungee, right? Because I have several that are like, we're afraid to exercise, have been injured with exercise, and they saw the Bungee Fitness, and I know they love it. They said it's fun. It's not hurting on their knees like a lot of the other exercises do. So I know it's kind of a neat concept.
My oldest is 78, I believe. And the greatest story that I have for bungee is I have a client that started day one with me. She was thrilled. She's in really great shape. She would run marathons, and she was very fit, but she was hang gliding. and had an accident. And I can't remember how far it threw her over the cliff. If I'm not mistaken, I think wind grabbed up her hang glide, threw her over a cliff. And I asked before how many broke bones she had, and too many to count.
Oh my gosh.
She's got rods all up and down her, and they said the reason why she lived was she was fit.
She's good health.
That's why your muscles are important to build, because that protects your bones, right? So she loves to run. And she's very inspirational to me. She really is. And she works out all the time. And she's now walking marathons. And I told her, I gave her a key to the place one day. I said, here's a key. If you cannot, she can run in the bungee.
Really?
If you're a runner, you love to run.
Right.
If you're not a runner, you don't get it. You're like, why do you like to run?
Yeah.
But if you're a runner, you get it. She's a runner. And I said, if it's raining and she goes on walks all the time, and if you can't walk her or you're training for one of your marathons now, I say, come in. You know how to harness yourself up, run.
She can run. She can run in the bungee.
Yes.
I never thought of that aspect of it. That's
Any other time she can't. And then one day she said, Annette, look, and she ran from one corner to one corner, which was a big feat for her. So I mean, when I see things like that, it just keeps me motivated to keep going.
Well, it's kind of like with my business as well. You know, we're in a business that, yes, we're getting people healthier, but the side effect of that is, you know, we're changing people's lives. And it's not just changing her life or one person's life. It's all those people that are around them, their family, their friends. I mean, it's life-changing.
Yes, and it's important. I mean, more than anything, if you want to stay at that nursing home, you've got to get fit and you got to build that muscle, period.
I preach that all the time. You know, if you got to move it or lose it. And I always laugh. I was always told you got to keep moving, or if you stop moving, they'll throw dirt on you.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, along with, I don't know if you know this, but along with Bungee Fitness Factory, I teach at the Senior Citizen Center 4 times a week.
Very nice.
Strength. I teach strength there, and I teach at the nursing home at NHC. And it's just like, you know, there's some very young people at the nursing home.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, because I said, hey, how old are you? And they would tell me, and I'm over here going, okay, if you want to get fit and want to hopefully die in your home one day when you get older and it's the end of your life, now is the time to get started. If you're not, building those muscles. The muscles, what supports those bones. Our bones are getting brittle as we age. So what do you got to do? I had cancer at 45.
Oh, goodness.
I had endometrial cancer. They had to take everything I had out, and it threw me straight into menopause. And what happens with menopause? No hormones. You have no metabolism left. So instead of just sitting there crying about it, I defeated cancer, and what I did was start studying. And when you can't have hormones that grows that cancer, what do? Build muscle. Did you know that? You build muscle. Because that's how you make your metabolism.
Correct.
And if you are 70, if you're 80, 60, 50, 40, did you know you can move your life back 20 years by strength training?
Absolutely.
I don't think people realize that.
Well, the muscles, I mean, the thing about exercise is that the benefits go on past the workout. So your body will continue to metabolize 20, 30 minutes after you finish exercising. Yes. So it just keeps it's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving.
That's exactly what it is.
So do you have anything, like I said, that you would want to share with the audience? Like, do you have any upcoming events? Do you do like open house? Do you invite people and say, hey, just come and watch?
I do. I do. Their first class of not the bungee, because I really need them to book that class. But any of our other classes, their first class is always free, because I want you to be a good fit with my gym, because we are accepting of all sizes and ages. And I want, it's very important to me. I don't care if you walk in there weighing over 300 pounds. That's a start. That's your first start. My first start of being over 300 pounds and walking into a gym, I went into the gym and I said, I need to sign up. And he looks at me and he says, I think curves is more your speed. And I'm not lying.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I looked at the man and I said, sign me up. A year later, I had lost 100 pounds, and I was teaching for him, and he was paying for me. So
That's awesome.
he was paying me, not paying for me,
That's
paying
awesome.
me.
Yeah.
And my point is, and also, no matter your size, you can be fit. People don't understand
100%,
that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got things when you start exercising, you have things inside that starts changing first. You might not see it on the outside, but it's moving and changing on the inside.
So true.
Your blood work's going to tell you everything.
Yeah, the blood work, the blood sugar, the blood pressure, cholesterol. I mean, there's a million things.
Thyroid, hormone, you name it.
There's a million benefits to exercise.
I do want to just, we're doing glow parties. Once a month, Bungee glow parties. They're going to be once a month. They're on Friday nights. We're going to do a kid one at like 5:30 and the adult ones at 7. So it's a lot of fun. Then the other thing that we are doing is this summer we're going to do a mom and me. So I don't care what age your baby is. I can put a mom on the bungee and the child next to them, or if it's a baby, I got a little swing that they can get in. And so it's just something for the whole family. That's important.
Well, I just think it's so unique. And like I said, I think, like you said earlier, you're going to give some who are afraid to go to the gym or don't want to go to the gym. Now you have a whole different opportunity. Like you said, less knee pain, no hip pain, because I know a lot of people don't exercise because of those reasons. Exactly. And like you said, there's still something you could be doing to improve your health.
Absolutely. But I also teach bar. Now I'm 56, about to be 57, and I'm not giving up. I know this is not good to say, but I want to die in my own home. I don't want to have to go to a nursing home. I want to die in my own home. So I'm going to fight to the end, and I'm going to lift weights to the end until I can't anymore.
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with Jack LaLanne. You familiar with him? He was from back in the 50s, so he was
yes.
He was the little guy in the jumpsuit that was on TV all the time. Yeah. And he was, the day before he passed, he swam for like 2 hours. He was a swimmer, so he swam for like 2 hours the day before he passed.
Wow.
I mean, that's how
When
dedicated.
it's my time to go, that's fine. I know accidents happen and things and they're mental, but I'm going to do it.
But you're going on your own terms. That's what's important. Your own terms, not someone else's terms.
I wish. I went to the doctor the other day to have a full, just a physical. Everything turned out fantastic. Blood work was fantastic. I've had a whole heart checkup. It's fantastic. And this really reiterated with, the doctor looked at me, and he's into fitness big time. He's really into fitness. He knows I am too. And he looked at me, he said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You get aggravated when people quit coming or quit exercising and just give up?" I said, "All the time."
Yeah, I think everybody does.
And because he said, "Well, it upsets me when I tell them, you've got to change the way you're living right now. You're heading down the wrong path." He said, "And they don't do it." And he said, "And I tell them to exercise." He said, "If they would just exercise, it would work." So what I tell my people, give me 3 months. 3 months. You're going to start feeling better. Okay, those first couple weeks, 100%. They're not fun. They're not, it's tough. You're sore. Give me 3 months, 6 months. You are really seeing results. I mean, you're going on trips and you're walking faster than your family is, and you're really seeing results. Give me a year, and you're going to have muscles popping out everywhere. Yeah. Constant 3 times a week. Can you give yourself 3 hours a week?
That's it. That's how simple it is, isn't it? That's simple.
The number one excuse, I don't have time.
Yeah, 3 hours a week.
That's the number one excuse.
Yeah, well, I think what's exciting is that you've lived it. I mean, you've gone down that pathway. Don't tell me you can't do it. I mean, come on. There's no reason. If you've done it like your story has said, there's no reason, no excuses for that.
No, and I mean, you see people in wheelchairs that exercise. I seen a video the other day of a guy that didn't have arms and legs, and he was out running. I'm not even kidding. I was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Yeah, I have a lady, and I think she's 97 now, and she goes to the senior center, I think twice a week, and I can still do chair yoga. And she says, if I can do it, don't give me any excuses.
Correct.
Anybody can do it.
I tell all my people that sprinkle of cardio, strength training is very important.
I'd agree.
And stretch.
Yeah, flexibility.
Mobility is huge. In my stretch classes, and I have created a bungee stretch class. Mobility is in it, but mobility is very important.
I would totally
all
agree.
of it. So just how they used to make go, oh, you got to run 4 miles, 5 miles. No, sprinkle a little cardio in there. Keep your heart strong, strength build. Strong muscles. And of course, you got to eat right. I get the big thing
absolutely.
is I've been exercising, I'm not eating, I'm gaining. Let's talk to you about what's going on at your house.
Correct. So I know one of the things you mentioned that you experience, and it's very easy to see visually the change in people. But what have you seen like with their, I don't know, I say their mentality or just their attitude? What do you see when that changes?
Okay, so I can mentally, as far as you sleep better, okay, you sleep better, and you there's natural endorphins, or
Correct.
is that what they're called, that is released after class.
Absolutely.
And you get done, you will walk in there like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I do this all the time. And then I do my class, I'm like, all right, ready to go.
Right.
I can go home clean. Now, my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and she didn't know who she was. And my mother was so petrified that that would happen to her. She thought you could read crossword puzzles. I mean, do crossword puzzles and word puzzles and games and stuff, and that would keep your brain going.
Right.
Actually, studies are shown, you know what keeps your brain healthy? Exercise.
100%.
One of the reasons is it gets that blood flowing, keeps that blood flowing through the body.
Yep, you got to have blood flow.
It's the truth. I was thinking, like my mom, word puzzles and games and the mental activity, keep it going. No, that's not it. Look it up.
I 100% agree with that.
It's exercise.
If you follow, when you talk about brain and mentality, mental health and stuff like that, Dr. Amen is the leader when it comes to brain and brain research, and that's the first thing he said. He said your brain smoking is same as if you don't exercise. Mm-hmm. You get larger, your brain gets smaller.
Correct.
And he called it dinosaur brain.
I study this stuff all the time. I do. I study it because I want to be able to tell my students.
Yeah.
Listen to this. This is true.
Yeah.
I've experienced. It's so true.
Well, and I see when people, there's their entire attitude shifts because, again, they have more self-confidence because obviously their body is changing. As well as anyone else that the confidence from being 300 pounds to where you are now is probably a little different.
Right.
So.
And and I'm getting a lot of people right now where they were able to, maybe they were able to get the shots that's helping them.
Yeah, the weight loss.
To get, their weight under control, because it is a disease, okay? I mean, we got to accept that. Quit calling people lazy, because people who are big, we are not lazy. We are the most non-lazy people. And you can say I now weigh 155 pounds. Matter of fact, my doctor said to stay at 165 because I have so much loose skin. Never had a doctor tell me to quit losing weight. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But my point is, they come to me and say, what do you think about the shots? What I think about the shots is a tool. Well, what do you think about weight loss surgery? It's a tool.
Right.
Use it right. But you have to stay in the gym, or not even in the gym, at home if you want to do it at home. You have to exercise. Period. You have to build muscle.
You
period.
still have to do the work.
You still have to do the work.
There's no magic button. There's no magic pill.
No shots. There's not. But what that shot is done, they start losing weight. Okay, they start losing weight, and then they're like, get to feeling good about themselves, and then they're coming in the gym.
Yeah,
that's the one thing
benefit.
that I'm like. And then when you on that shot, and they're saying, well, they're losing muscle. That's because they're not in the gym, and they're not eating enough protein.
Correct.
So diet is everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole. Once you get that balance, and once you get it going, and you get it part of your life, is easy.
Yeah, the rest is magic, right?
It is.
It turns back to life.
I'm 32, and I'm almost 57. Added up, I've been over 300, 200, 250, you name it. I'm now 155 pounds, and I've been steady at 155 for a year now. So that's just because I
what
teach
a-
20-something classes a week.
Yeah, that's long. It's a different advantage, but well, what a great story on that. I think the Bungee Fitness, I think that is a fantastic, another great tool. I do think that it's a great opportunity for people to get involved with exercise that may not. It would probably even lead them into doing other things,
Correct.
with exercise. And I appreciate you taking the time to come in and be on the podcast today.
And considering what you do for a living, so the bungee helps keep the spine open.
I wholeheartedly agree that.
I have scoliosis, and it helps my spine a lot.
I have recommended several of my scoliosis patients specifically for that reason.
you.
Because
I
if you
appreciate
take,
it.
I always say, if you take a string that's loose or crooked and you stretch it, what happens? It straightens.
Right. Well, and like we say, it takes everything. What you do for a living is and what I do for a living, it takes it all.
Well, it's all the pieces of the puzzle. Like I said, that's part of
Correct.
why I'm doing this, is we want to bring all those little jigsaw pieces of the puzzle together that makes the whole picture of health.
Right. I was. Thank you for having me today.
You're more than welcome.
This is
Thank
my
you for
passion,
coming.
and I'm not rich off of it, but I love to do it. So,
Well,
I
thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too.
You've been listening to Beyond the Adjustment, where we have conversations with other health-minded professionals to create a healthier community.